today from ClearVue is Victor Rosenberg. Victor, good morning. Good to have you back here.
Andrew, yeah, thank you for having me. And again, it's a pleasure to be talking with you and your proactive investors once again.
Been a little while, Victor, since you and I last spoke. Give us a quick reminder about ClearVue.
Well, you know, the technology is a smart building technology company. It's also a solution technology company. It focuses on sustainability, energy efficiency, and positive environmental outcomes. The technology's products are energy saving, energy producing, highly insulating, and it reduces the carbon footprint. It's scalable, and of course, it's clear and it's functional glass. And the other main thing when I talk about a solution technology, it's part of the solution for achieving your zero net energy, your zero net carbon, and of course, reducing the carbon footprint.
Victor, as far as the American activities, firstly, you've signed up a new US distributor. Tell us a bit about them.
Yes, I think that's a pretty good partner to have in the US. We've been talking to him now for probably about 9 months. He's an experienced operator. They've been in business for 37 years. He's a very experienced player in the glazing industry, particularly in the northeast of USA. He's got major projects in New York, Philadelphia, New Jersey. And you know, with ClearVue's dual properties of energy efficiency and energy generation, it aligns well with Garboy's focus. And his focus is on sustainability, energy efficiency, on-site generation, ancillary grid solutions, also upgrading and retrofitting older buildings, as well as, of course, doing new buildings as well. So the focus is fantastic for both of us. We both are in the same area, if you know what I'm saying.
How's the single and double glazed product development coming along?
The single and double glazed development is getting along pretty well. In fact, we made our prototypes, and the double glazed is being used in a trial in New York City as we speak. The New York demonstration trial it's called the Empire Building Challenge. That Empire Building Challenge is under the jurisdiction of NYSERDA. NYSERDA is the New York State Energy Authority. So they are the authority who actually are controlling this challenge that has about to begin in the US. We were invited in 2020 as a participant to be part of the trial in a prominent New York high-rise building. In fact, President Cuomo, when he was president at the time, he announced that there are 10 prominent building owners who are committed to this challenge. So it's actually a big challenge amongst, I think, 10 of the largest property owners in New York City. There's a growing demand for technology to reduce carbon footprint. And ClearVue is at the forefront to transform old buildings to buildings of the future. The purpose of the trial is to demonstrate the technical and economic feasibility of retrofitting tall buildings to low carbon standards and generating blueprints so building owners can replicate the solutions across their portfolio of buildings. So that's the purpose of the demonstration, the trial, is that everybody who's in the trial can benefit from the outcomes of the trial. And we are in one of the buildings, our windows, there are 5 companies who have windows, new technology in one of the buildings. And you know, we're extremely proud to have been invited, of course, to be part of such a big trial in what I call the capital of the world. You know, one other thing, and the buildings are responsible for 40% of the carbon. And with ClearVue's technology, both dual technologies, both energy efficiency and energy producing, we can go a long way to meet the 230 to 250 goals.
Well, just on that, we've got the COP26 climate change conference, of course, in Glasgow.
Yeah.
Australian Prime
Yeah.
Minister Scott Morrison talking about technology being crucial to achieving net zero emissions. So clearly some relevance here to ClearVue.
Well, you know what he talks about, he's relying on new technologies. He's hoping that will get him over the line. And that's where we'd like to let him know that we're around, because we definitely can help him get over the line. You know, so as far as the COP goes, you know, there have been several revolutions in the past many years, decades, of which the first was the Industrial Revolution, as we all know, followed by a technological revolution, followed by the digital revolution. But now it's followed by the Green Revolution, which is the biggest of them all. In fact, according to Bloomberg Energy Foundation, they believe that between 78 to 130 trillion dollars will be needed by 2050 to enable the globe to meet its environmental targets. And again, as I said, buildings make up 40% of that emission, and we will definitely be able to help them to get to their targets, or be a contributor to it. Because, as I mentioned in the beginning, we are a solution technology, and we can definitely be part of the solution for net zero emissions, net zero energy, and to reduce the carbon footprint.
Victor, tell me a bit more about your new non-exec director, John Downs.
Yes, John. Well, you know what? He's been a fantastic add-on to our board. It brings an industry player, in fact, a very big industry player, onto our board. So it's one of the areas where we were looking to beef up the board, and we were lucky to get somebody like Lend-Lease, John Downs from Lend-Lease. Although I don't think it happened by accident, because they are looking to be carbon zero by 2030. So it's probably good for them to have somebody with a new technology, and it's good for us to have a big player in the industry. You know, he's actually the global head of facade supply chain. So he actually runs the whole global supply chain. He's got 30 years experience in glazing and facade systems, and also construction management. So yes, that's definitely a major plus for our company.
And of course, earlier this year, you appointed a chief executive for Europe. How are they progressing?
You know, he's doing well, Dieter. You know, Dieter's doing well. He's starting to make contact with all his old connections in the game, and he's got involved in the three major conferences. So it gives him a good chance to expose ClearVue to different markets. You know, he's done the one in September, which was in Zurich. He did one. We also showed a demonstration unit there. We also sponsored a lunch. So it gave Dieter a good opportunity to meet all the players that were there. And in October, he was also at the 16th Advanced Skin Conference in Switzerland again. There, Dieter actually gave a presentation on integrating solar technologies into facades, and made contact with a lot of the people that I dealt with in the past, Asahi Glass, Eastman Chemicals, and there's a lot of interest in what he showed, and those connections, I'm sure, in time will start bearing fruit.
I remember, Victor, when you and I last spoke, we mentioned about the Murdoch University solar glass greenhouse. Any news on that front?
Yes, you know, everything's going well with the greenhouse. Particularly now, I can talk to you about the raw data, because we've got a lot of raw data that's come off, which everybody's waiting, of course, now to hear. It's functioning well. It has great temperature control, and that's due to its superior insulating properties. It controls the daytime temperature 5 to 10 degrees lower than the control room. And also the nighttime temperature is 10 degrees higher than the control room. That's very important. It means you need less cooling and heating to maintain the optimum growing temperature. The other big thing that's come out of it is the energy use. The energy use from our greenhouse is approximately 11 to 12 kilowatt hours for our greenhouse, whereas the control room uses 33 to 36 kilowatt hours in the control room. So our energy use is a third less than what's in the control room. We also can control the optimum growing temperature. We can hold the temperature to within 1 to 1.5 degrees of the optimum growing temperature, which is 18 to 25 degrees centigrade. We use less power and we use less water. And water itself, of course, is a commodity that needs to be respected and looked after. Yeah.
Also, I wanted to ask, Victor, this order from Tomita Technologies, how's that progressing?
Tomita, well, that's going well. In fact, what's happened with Tomita is shipping delays have been a major problem. I mean, it's everybody's experienced problems there. So their shipment will only arrive, I think, early next year. It should have gone sometime in, I think, November, but it looks like it'll only leave probably around about maybe January, end of January. And yeah, they're waiting for the stuff. You know, they're looking to build what's called an Aqua Ignis Sendai greenhouse project, which is like a tourist attraction, and people will be seeing the strawberries growing live. It's like a live show at this particular resort. So we can't wait for it, and unfortunately, it'll only happen built probably around about May next year.
Just by way, Victor, of a final thought from you this morning, on the back of the climate change conference, how well positioned do you reckon ClearVue is? What's the opportunity for you?
Well, you know, the opportunities, I think, are going to start presenting themselves. I believe, as I say, we're in production. We're certified in Europe and we're certified in the US. We are just starting to get onto the runway to take off for growth. And this growth will be something like a 50-year growth. So we've got a long future ahead of us, and I think an extremely bright future ahead of us, that's for sure.
Good to see you this morning. Victor, thanks very much.
Thanks again, Andrew. Thank you. Bye-bye.